everybody. Today we're just going to do some practice approaches, and that's pretty much it. It's a beautiful day to fly, so figured we would take advantage of it. The first approach we're going to do is over at Osceola, Wisconsin. The winds are 320 at 8, so most favorable runway is going to be runway 228. So we'll pull up the RNAV for runway 28 and we'll brief that before we depart here. There's 5,000 feet of runway, touchdown zone elevations 906. As far as the comments go on the approach, there's some extreme temperature comments. If you can't get the altimeter, you can use a NOCA, which is actually where we're at right now. So none of that is going to be relevant today. At 109.925 is the AWOS. We're just going to go shoot this approach without talking to Minneapolis approach, and then when we depart Osceola, then we'll get Minneapolis approach on the line. 122.9 is going to be our CTAF, which we will plug in after we taxi over to the runway. But for now, we got to leave ground and tower plugged in. Missed approach procedure, climb to 3,000, direct Weezus, and hold. So we're coming in from the southwest. So we'll intercept the initial approach fix at Eckley, and then based on that, we're going to do a teardrop entry into that procedure turn. And then we will plug in our minimums, which for the LPV approach, that is going to be 1106, and if we lose WAS on our GPS and we have to switch to an LNAV approach, then that's going to have a minimum of 1,400 feet. But we'll go Eckley to Rickno to Nayi, I think is how you would say that, down to the runway. And it's an LPV, so we will have glide slope guidance, which will make it a lot easier. Anoka Ground, Comanche 8391 Papa at RC Avionics for a VFR northeast departure with information Delta.
Comanche 8391 Papa, Anoka Ground, runway 36, taxi Charlie Alpha 1.
Charlie Alpha 1 to 36, 91 Papa. Anoka Tower, Comanche 8391 Papa, holding short 36, ready for takeoff.
Comanche 8391 Papa, Anoka Tower, 36, right turn out approved, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 36, right turn approved, 8391 Papa. Landing gear is going up. We're crabbing into the wind a little bit. And we're 9 miles out from Eckley, our initial approach fix. And I've never checked out the FBO here, so we'll do that too while we're here. 1 mile out from Eckley. Alright, so hold teardrop is what my 375 is saying. So I'm going to pull out about an inch. And this is saying direct track of 082 in 3 seconds. And then we're 14.2 miles away from the airport, so once we pass Eckley on our inbound, should be able to call up the airport for our first call on the CTAF. We're coming up on 3,000 here. And then our next waypoint is intercepted at 2,600. So we'll level off here just over 3,000. Right turn to 285 in 8 seconds. Try to keep it locked in a nice standard rate turn until we get to 285. And then we'll watch our airspeed, we'll watch our altitude. Coming up on 210 degrees. Coming up on 285, right there. And we need to go to the left a little bit to to get our course aligned, and then we'll proceed inbound. Eckley is 3.3 miles away.
12,000, temperature 5 Celsius, dew point -6, altimeter 3039er.
Welcome to Osceola, Wisconsin, friendly airport.
Eckley's 1.5 out. We'll get an updated wind reading.
Osceola, Simonstead Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation. 1608 Zulu, weather, wind 280 at 7, visibility
Nice.
10, clear below.
We got almost a direct headwind actually now. So now we have our advisory glide slope coming in. We're 12.5 away from the airport. We can start descending through 3,000 to 2,600. And that point, that next fix is Rickno. And I'm just trying to keep my wind diamond on the correct course, basically. We can start configuring ourselves for landing as well at this point. So we'll turn our landing lights on. Push in a little bit of mixture. But everything's feeling really good, looking really good. Osceola traffic, Comanche 839 Papa, 10 to the east, inbound, straight in runway 28 on the RNAV, Osceola. Oak my head on a nice turbulent bump there. And once we pass Rickno, we can pretty much get fully configured for landing. We're at 2,660 feet, which is just fine. Just need to be above 2,600. Our glide slope, advisory glide slope is coming in. We're a little bit right of course, so we'll come over a little bit to the left. We'll start pulling out power here. And we'll configure for landing. Fuel pump's going on, mixture's rich. Like I said, I pulled out some power. Pull out a little more power, and we'll start to trim up a little bit. We're slightly high, so I'm going to slowly trim us up to bleed off a little airspeed, but keep that glide slope locked in. Osceola traffic, Comanche 839 Papa, 3 mile final, runway 28, Osceola. And we can put our landing gear down. And we're a little bit high, so with the landing gear coming down, we can easily get that corrected. Carburetor heat, gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop, switches. We're good to go, configured for landing. Just need to trim it up. And we're looking for 1106 for our minimums. A little more up trim. That should be good right there.
Minimums.
Yeah, it's a little windy. Ground effect. Not bad, not bad.
We're just taking a quick break, had some lunch, nice cozy little FBO, and we're gonna flight plan. I'm thinking we'll go to downtown St. Paul because the winds are coming from the northwest. So they have an ILS on runway 32 that would work really well. So we'll call Minneapolis approach and request to do the practice approach on the ILS for 3-2 into Holman Field, and then head back home to Crystal for the RNAV on runway 32. So let's brief the downtown St. Paul approach plate first. So we're gonna enter the localizer once we're in the plane, frequency 111.5. We're going to put in our approach course on our CDI of 326 degrees, runway 6,109 feet with a touchdown elevation of 704. The notes section, nothing is applicable to us. Missed approach would be to climb to 1,400 and then a right turn to 4,000 using the FGT VOR, and that VOR is the Farmington VOR. We're not going to be doing a missed approach today, but there's the missed approach procedure. ATIS 118.35, we'll plug that into our radio once we get in the plane again. 119.1 for the tower. And that's that. The other thing we're going to do at St. Paul is we're going to use the VOT to do a VOR check, because we do need to do that as part of our 30-day inspection process. So we will pull up in our documents section here in ForeFlight, we'll go to FAA, and then we'll go into the FAA folder, we'll go into the chart supplement AFD folder, and then we'll load up the North Central. And I already have it bookmarked here, but the Minnesota VOR receiver checkpoints and VOR test facilities. So Minnesota's got 2 test facilities, one at MSP, one at St. Paul, and we'll go to St. Paul and do that. So basically we'll land at St. Paul, and then anywhere on the ground, we can plug in 114.4 and we'll get an indication on our VOR. It should be lining up 180. If our VOR is accurate and we have a 4-degree variance that we can be within for a successful test. And let's get in the plane and get in the air.
So GPS, we're gonna go into our flight plan, and we will go KSTP, downtown St. Paul. So we'll get that plugged in. And then we can go to procedure, approach, ILS 32. We're going to leave in transition vectors. And then we'll overlay that on our ForeFlight map. But yeah, we'll most likely get vectors. Otherwise it would be the Kiki for the initial approach fix. Load the approach. We won't activate it yet. Go back to our map. Osceola traffic, Comanche 8391 Papa, taking off runway 28, departing to the southwest. Osceola. Airspeed is alive. Gauges are green. Landing gear is going up. Still traffic 215 space, final 28 Osceola. We're going to switch over to approach.
You staying at that up?
So when we call them up, we're just going to request a practice approach on the ILS 32 at St. Paul. But before we call them, let's get the weather, if we can.
November 1653.
We got to get higher.
7. Right, finish contact, we have November.
Alright, we got November.
45, so I mean
300 at 7. Visibility 10. Sky clear below 12,000. Temperature 7. 2.96. Altimeter 3038. Visual approach E. Landing and departing is runway 32. Notice to airmen, runway 1321 and 27 happy out of service. Alright, finish contact, we have November.
Minneapolis approach, Comanche 8391 Papa with request.
with the VFR request. What was your call sign, aircraft type, and request?
PA 24250, Comanche 8391 Papa, 10 miles southwest of Osceola, requesting a VFR practice approach to downtown St. Paul, ILS 32 if possible.
Comanche 91 Papa, squawk 0216.
0216, 91 Papa.
And Comanche 91 Papa, radar contact 10 miles east of Noka Airport, me altimeter 3037, say altitude.
4,100, 91 Papa.
91 Papa, roger, maintain at or above 3,500 for traffic. And what's your approach request at St. Paul?
Approach request ILS 32 at St. Paul, 91 Papa, at or above 3,500.
Comanche 91 Papa, maintain VFR, fly heading 180, vector ILS runway 32, approach St. Paul. How will this approach terminate?
Terminate a full stop, 180 for 91 Papa.
91 Papa, roger, advise information November.
We do have information November, 91 Papa.
Echo Bravo, roger.
We're going to go into our flight plan. Vectors, activate. Activate, okay. So now we have our approach activated with vectors from ATC.
91 Papa, turn right heading 180 and maintain VFR at or below 3,500 now.
At or below 3,500, 180, 91 Papa. Okay, 180 on the heading. And we're going to bug 3,400. Since we have at or below 3,500 for our altitude restriction. Gorgeous. St. Croix River.
473 for traffic expected to flight vector to the southeast, then I'll bring you over the top of Minneapolis. Number 219-1 Papa, turn right heading 190 and maintain VFR at below 3,000.
190 below 3,000, 91 Papa. I'll put 2,900 on my bug. We stay below 3,000.
Over 24 Echo Bravo. 91 Papa, traffic no factor, turn right heading 270.
270, 91 Papa.
Cherokee. 91 Papa, turn right heading 290, join the localizer.
290, join the localizer, 91 Papa. Okay, 290, and then we'll switch over to our CDI. Course is plugged in at 326. So, we'll intercept the localizer here. And we want to be at 2,500 feet, which we are at right now.
91 Papa, 7 miles from Ruldy, maintain VFR, cleared ILS runway 32 approach.
Maintain VFR, cleared ILS 32 approach, 91 Papa. Oh,
Future Papa, turn 10 degrees right, advising you have no good
huge flock of birds. Alright, needles alive.
91 Papa, contact St. Paul Tower 119.1.
90.1, 91 Papa. St. Paul Tower, Command Chief 91 Papa on the ILS 32.
391 Papa, St. Paul Tower, continue for runway 32.
Continue for 32, 91 Papa. We do not have the glide slope yet. We're 9.1 miles out from the airport, so we should have glide slope pretty quick here. Yeah, coming up at the next waypoint. And we want to intercept this waypoint at 2,500, so I'm trying to keep my altitude there. And then once we pass that, we can switch over to our barometric minimums on our 275 and configure ourselves for landing. Alright, glide slope is coming alive, so that's great. Pull out some power so we can get our airspeed down and we can get a 3-degree descent going.
901 Papa, runway 32, clear to land and use caution for Eagle circling the river. Low altitude, short final.
Clear to land 32, we'll watch for the Eagles, 91 Papa. Eagle activity, a lot of bird activity these days. We'll put our landing gear down. Gear is down. Green light, perfect. Pull out a little more power. And we're gonna go full rich on our mixture. We're just a tad low, so I just added a little power to correct for that. And Tower 17, Foxtrot Juliet will be ready to land. We're looking for Eagles.
Foxtrot Juliet, St. Paul Tower, hold short, runway 32, traffic landing.
Hold short, runway 32, 17, Foxtrot Juliet. Sorry, dude. Alright, carburetor heat, gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop, switches. We're configured to land.
Minimums.
Get back in
minimums.
here. We got minimums. Trim's looking good.
Gulfstream 7 Foxtrot Juliet, runway 32, line up and wait.
Runway 32, line up and wait. November 17, Foxtrot Juliet. Left Alpha 2 over to ground 901 Papa.
At 616, you can.
St. Paul ground, Command 8391 Papa. We're at Alpha 2, and we're just here to use the VOT, but we're going to take off again, so wherever you want us for that would be great.
November 8319 Papa, you can do your VOT right there, and advise right to taxi for runway 32.
Roger that, 91 Papa, thanks. So, we've got downtown St. Paul, we plug in 114.4, and then we put that into the active, and then we'll set our course for 180. Boop, boop. And we should get a 2 indication, which we do have a 2 indication, and that is right on 180. So that's a successful test on the VOT. And if we change our course to 360, we should have a from indication, and that looks great. Our VOR is working, and then we'll note that in our logbook that we had a successful VOR test, and that's it. We're going to go back to Crystal, so direct to, and then we'll do the RNAV on 3-2, transition, vectors. We're going to plug in 124475 for the ATIS. Minimums on this, it's an LNAV, so 1380. Most likely they'll send us over to ePaid, which is the initial approach fix, and then we'll go in from there direct, would be my guess.
Entry 83901 Papa, remain outside the class Bravo airspace unless advised to enter. Departure will be 121.2, squawk 4217.
121.2, squawk 4217, stay outside the Bravo 91 Papa. 121.2. St. Paul Tower, Command G8391 Papa, holding short, 32, ready for departure.
Command G8391 Papa, St. Paul Tower, wind 3004, on course approved, runway 32, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, on course approved, runway 32, 91 Papa. The airspeed's alive. Rotation, speed. Gears going up. Have to stay below 2300.
Command G91 Papa, contact Minneapolis departure there.
Over to departure, 91 Papa, thanks. Minneapolis departure, 8391 Papa, 1700 with you.
Over 8391 Papa, Minneapolis approach ident, Minneapolis altimeter 3037.
Ident, 91 Papa.
Number 901 Papa, radar contact to mile northwest of the St. Paul Airport. Remain outside the Minneapolis Bravo airspace on navigation to Crystal. Advise when you have November there.
Command outside the Bravo, we'll get the weather here in a second, 91 Papa.
And November 901 Papa, just for your planning purposes, they have a disabled aircraft on 1432, so they're landing 24 right currently.
Got it, appreciate that, 91 Papa. Oh, how about
Bravo Air 600, ground control. Live, you have November. With confirmation, November is now current time 1757 Zulu, and you're able 4 knots, 3010, sky is clear. Temperature 07, dew point -05, altimeter 3036. Zero approaching use, landing and deporting, runway 24 right. Runway 6 right, 24 left, facade is open. Instruction crane.
Information November at Crystal for 91 Papa.
Roger, thank you.
If possible, we'd like to do the RNAV 32 circling approach at Crystal 2 for 91 Papa.
Over 901 Papa, stand by, let me call the tower and see if they're okay with that.
Stand by, 91 Papa. Yeah, we're asking them a lot for sure to do that, but we'll see what they say.
November 8391 Papa, fly northeast bound, and I'll set you up for the approach here momentarily.
Fly northeast, you'll set me up for the approach, 91 Papa, thanks.
Delivery 3901 Papa, climb and maintain VFR 3,500.
3,500, 901 Papa. So we'll bug that, 3,500.
901 Papa, flighting 090.
090, 901 Papa.
Delivery 3901 Papa, turn right direct to E-Pay.
Right, direct E-Pay, 901 Papa. So then we'll go here, then E-Pay, no course reversal, activate approach. Then we can switch on nav mode, and Bessie should get us direct E-Pay.
Delivery 3901 Papa, you're about 3 miles from E-Pay, maintain VFR cleared, RNAV runway 32 approach, circle, runway 24 right.
Clear to E-Pay, 3,500 feet, RNAV 32 approach, circling for 901 Papa. 1.6 away from E-Pay, so coming up here pretty quick.
Delivery 3901 Papa, contact Crystal Tower, have a good day.
Over Crystal Tower, 901 Papa, thanks. Crystal Tower, Comanche 3901 Papa on the RNAV, circling approach for 32.
Comanche 3901 Papa, Crystal Tower, we're switching back to runway 32, continue inbound runway 32.
Continue inbound runway 32, 901 Papa. Oh, there you go. 3,000 is my next altitude for cattle. And 0.8 miles away from cattle, the next waypoint, we're at 3,000 feet. So we're gonna hold this. Our airspeed's coming down nicely. Feeling good about that.
Confirmation, Oscar's now current, that's 3036, wind 260 at 4, landing in party runway 32.
260. So we're gonna have winds coming from our left. Yeah, medevac.
Comanche 91 Papa, runway 32, clear to land.
Clear to land 32, 91 Papa. 2,500 is the next waypoint, which is 1 mile away. We're getting pretty close, so we'll put our landing gear down. And then we're gonna switch to our circling minimums. Well, we're not using circling anymore, but we're gonna switch over to our minimums of 1380. And now we are on final approach, and we have advisory glide slope. Carburetor heat, gas, undercarriage is down, mixture, prop to go, switches are on. So we still have our propeller, everything else is good. We're going to pull out more power.
Minimums.
We're at minimums. Trim it up a little bit more. 1, 2, 3. A little bit more flaps. Pull out a little more power. Keep the 1, 2, 3. Dump our flaps. Nice landing. Okay, that was pretty fun. That was a very hectic, number one, really busy day of flying. A lot of people out and about, so the controller was busy. There's a lot of traffic.
And Turkey 0 Charlie, that was a northbound departure.
Affirmative, northbound departure.
And that is a very short
Thanks so much,
flight
Charlie.
through Bravo airspace. We got 2 deltas to contend with. So that was really good practice. Definitely good practice. Very hectic approach, but I feel like our briefings went pretty well, and I feel like everything went good. Just as a general update as well, I got my written exam scheduled in about a month, so I'm studying for that very heavily right now, making sure everything's totally good to go. And then I'm hoping to finish my flight hour requirements within the next month, pretty much. And then I should be good to go for taking my check ride as soon as I can get that scheduled. But my goal really is by like July. If I can get everything done, check ride done, instrument rating done by July, that'd be great. So, more to come. Thanks a lot for riding along. We'll see you soon.